If our lives were a diary, what would they really say? I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I thought it would be fun to just take you along over the next probably couple days, considering it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but what my days in the life really look like. Sometimes I am interested in that for other people, like what actually does your life look like? Like, how do you go about your day? What are your routines? What order do you do things in? What's it really like? I want the inside scoop, and that's what I'm going to give you today, kind of a peek into the diary of my life as a homemaker. I hope you're inspired, and to kick things off, we have a load of laundry to hang out. For spending a lot of time in the kitchen and not feeling so overwhelmed in there is trying to keep it as tidy as you can. I'm usually always cleaning as I'm baking, so I'll only get out 1 measuring cup, try to only use as few bowls and things as I can, even if I'm doing multiple recipes, just to keep that giant stack of dishes from going. And the same goes for, so we actually had a brunch this morning, which is why I was late on starting to film. We had a brunch with some friends, which was super fun, but obviously we got quite a number of dishes dirty, and so I washed those, had them drying. Now, before I get started on dinner tonight, and I also want to make some brownies here for friends this evening, I want to just take a couple minutes to put away all these now clean dishes, just to keep the kitchen as clean as I can, because I spend a lot of my time in this space right here, and so if I can kind of stay on top of it, just makes such a difference in my outlook and how much I enjoy my work and all of that. So I'm going to tackle that real quick before we mix up some brownies. Recipe. I just printed this off online. It is from Love and Lemons. I will try to remember to link it down below. I'm going to mix up a double batch of this for this evening. And then I think my sister is picking up a cheesecake ice cream to go with it. So cannot wait. The occasion tonight is a little sad. My sister, who is here for like a week and a half, is leaving tomorrow morning. So that's always sad to think of. It's been a while since I actually filmed my last video because of that. I wanted to be able to take time off with her here, and so I had worked a little bit ahead before she came. So you haven't seen much on the vlog. I just kind of hogged her to myself. But we've had some great times together as kind of a last little like hurrah before she leaves. We are making some brownies and some dessert for tonight. Is this not the sweetest little spoon? My daughter carved it for me for Christmas, I believe, or Mother's Day. I can't remember, but it is so sweet. Okay, I want to show you a tour of my entire garden out there, but before I do that, I wanted to share with you the pieces that I got from New Flora's June collection. It is so good. I'm so excited for this collection. I was going to actually do a try on today, but the day is getting away from me and somebody awfully cute was wanting to hang out with mommy. So I'm gonna sit down here and hold him and I'll show you pictures. Maybe I can insert them here. I did just get my pieces today, so I'm planning to share actual try-ons over on my Instagram, which is this.golden.hour, if you are interested in seeing the actual try-ons. If you've been around for a while, you know they sell out crazy fast, so if any of these catch your attention, try to be there on the dot, and I hope you get your favorite pieces. But starting off, I got the Lucille top. Y'all, I am so excited. This will pair beautifully with a denim skirt. Could actually be with even like a cotton floral skirt. Really versatile. It's that beautiful gauze fabric, and I think pairing that with the Juniper shorts would be so cute as well. Maybe with the straw hat, maybe a market basket, things like that. But then moving right along to the Juniper shorts, I'm so excited that these have a longer inseam. I'm pretty picky about that. I don't like super short shorts, and so these are really cute. I like the wash of them, and I think they'll just be really handy to have throughout the summer. We have the Isabella dress. Now this one, they've had a couple of different pieces in the exact same fabric, and I'm so excited for this dress. I got the same pattern of dress in another fabric a while ago. Absolutely love it. I've been wearing it a ton, so I'm very excited to add this one as well. And then there's the Ryleigh top, beautiful shade of green, obviously functioning buttons, and I think this color is so pretty, especially for the summer months. And in fact, I think that would pair really well with the Anna pants in cream. These are 100% linen. I love the flowy pants like that. Then we have the Angela dress. Personally, I've probably been anticipating this one the most from this month's collection. I think it's so beautiful. I had this fabric in another top a month or two ago, and it's just stunning. It's not embroidered, it's like printed on this beautiful like sagey leafy print, and it's in that same soft 100% cotton gauze fabric, which I'm very excited for. And then I have the Lily dress. Oh my goodness, talk about like romantic floral. This is so dreamy. I love the ruffles around the neckline. It actually has a little tie feature in the back as well. The back is smocked, so it's stretchy and gives you that like perfectly tailored look. Then there's the Daniella top. This one has beautiful flowers embroidered on it. Actually comes in 2 different colors, which is fun. And then the Emerson dress. I love that this one has a tie, which would make it really cute, like over a bump, or just if you want a little bit more shape, or you can just leave it hanging down for more of a flowy, like in the summer. Buttons are functioning, so it's nursing friendly as well. I also am excited about the Isla dress. This one has like pinstripes all the way down the front. I like that this one is a little bit of a shorter length. I feel like personally, I prefer like knee length over calf length. I just feel like it's a much more flattering cut on me, and so I'm excited about this one. Also has functioning buttons all down the front, making it nursing friendly. And then I have the Fairview Tank, perfect white layering tank, 100% cotton, has that kind of ribbed fabric. I love the neckline on this one. And then they actually came out with a couple of Restwear pieces or pajamas, and these I am so excited for. I could not decide, so I actually just got 3 of them and we'll see which is my favorite. But the first one is Eleanor Restwear. This is a beautiful, like kind of mauvish color. It just looks so cozy. It has the little bit more fitted pants, but not like skin tight, not like leggings or anything. And then an oversized shirt. And then the Alora Pajamas I'm very excited about wearing at bedtime. They are the most beautiful floral, all the ruffles, 100% cotton. It's everything. And then the last pair I got was sleeveless top but long pants, so these could be versatile also into the winter. And these are the Emery Pajamas in blue. So they have these in 2 different colors. I got the blue ones. That is everything that I picked up from New Flora for this month's collection. Don't forget to be there at 2 p.m. when the collection goes live. And now let's head out to the garden. Something about mornings in the garden with birds singing, plants growing, that just feels so incredibly peaceful, and I absolutely love coming out here. And I thought, you know what, this is super spur of the moment. We have weeds growing. I never actually finished mulching yet, but thought it would be fun to just show you around the garden a little bit. Things have come a long ways from where they were. So let's do a quick little impromptu garden tour. Now this arch that we installed just a couple weeks ago, showed you that process. It has been such a draw for the birds for some reason. I was not expecting that, but they have been loving it, and almost any given time of the day I look out here, there will be a bird sitting right in the middle of the arch singing away, and it is so precious. But these roses have been loving the arch here. They are climbing up fast. I know I'm kind of on a hill here, but if I come stand in here, you can see they are pretty much as tall as I am, which is absolutely incredible to me because these roses I hacked off to about this tall this spring, and so they have grown so much and make a beautiful entrance here for a garden. But let's head on in. Walking into the arch, the first box on the right has all our lettuces, and also I planted these little eucalyptus plants here, 2 of them. These are silver dollar eucalyptus. And then beside that I have the romaine lettuce, followed by kale. We have been loving kale this summer. I think these ruffly leaves are so beautiful. Anyway, so that has definitely been a favorite so far this year. And if you're wondering how my kids eat kale, I would say the trick, and even for myself and Josh, is to chop the kale really fine. Take out the ribs in the middle and chop it fine. Somehow that is delicious, but if you have big like chunks of kale, kind of a no-go for all of us. Next to that, I have our butter lettuce. If you've been around for a while, you have seen me start these from seed. They have done so well and are now these frilly big heads. By the way, this is a I forget the name of it. I'll try to put it on the screen here, but basically it's like a root feed supplement, so just helps the roots to stay healthy, which then in turn keeps the plants healthy. I think my favorite thing about the butter crunch lettuce is the view from the top like this. It's so frilly and pretty. Actually, maybe also with the cabbage, but I have 6 cabbage plants here, and then the rest are scattered throughout the garden. Cannot wait to turn this into sauerkraut. Next to that, we have 2 boxes of of potatoes. So we have one full box here, another full box on this side, and then between those, this is the dahlia patch, which needs more work. I think this is my favorite stage of potatoes. They're nice and big, but hardly browning, just starting to brown a little. I feel like this year we have a little bit less potato bugs than often, but if you look closely, you'll still see a couple. I usually like to sprinkle them with garden lime for that, and that takes care of them pretty well, I would say. Next to that box, we have this box of green beans. Now, this is not enough green beans for our family for the winter. Last year, I had one of these, and then we picked all those, and then I replanted, and it was kind of like another fall crop of them. I would like to do at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 boxes total of these because we just go through them so quickly. This was always my cucumber trellis, as some of you might know, and I have just the last 2 years especially had so much trouble with cucumber beetles. A lot of you were saying plant the cucumbers somewhere else. You can't really get rid of the beetles. You have to move the plants in order for the beetles to go away because they like overwinter in the soil. So I did not want anything to do with cucumbers around these this year. So instead I planted these cherry tomatoes, and I'm excited to see how they do. They are starting to climb up. I don't know how high they'll go, but I'm excited to find out, and I thought that was still something fun that we could have growing up around here and give the cucumbers a break for that space. So, okay, and then moving over to our next box here, we have another cherry tomato growing up this side of the trellis. Do you hear those birds? I just love it. Okay, and then we have a big box of onions. Now, I have to show you these onions. This is all credit to my mom. She is an incredible gardener, but she gave me some good tips on the onions. Let me show them to you first, and then I'll tell you what I did. So these are the onions. You can tell they're starting to dry up just a little bit, but they are huge. See if we can get a view of them. If you look in here, I mean, they are massive. I've grown onions for years, but I could never grow big ones like my mom, who grows literally onions this size. And they are beautiful and they taste delicious. They stay well for her. And she said, I used to always just plant onion bulbs, and she's like, no, plant the little starts. So basically it looks like an onion bulb, but it already has the stem on. We planted those. Another big missing thing for me was I was planting them way too close together. I have that problem with every variety of vegetable I grow, it seems, but it really does make all the difference because the onion can only get as big as you allow it space for. So that's why we planted these much further apart this year. They are doing beautifully. I think we put some biotone in the soil when we started them, which is just a great organic fertilizer that I like to put in the soil when I plant anything. That's all we've done. I don't think, maybe watered them once and they are just looking very promising. So I'm excited about that. And then the trellis, of course, back here that Josh installed a couple weeks ago has been so fun to see in here. It adds some nice structure to the garden. The cucumbers that were half dying when I planted them, some of them are looking fine, but I think I'm gonna go out to the greenhouse, buy a couple more little cucumber plants because I just really messed up on keeping ours watered this spring while we waited for the trellises, and they were a little far gone. But I did pick off one cucumber so far, and maybe we have a couple more. Next to the onion box here is first box of tomatoes. You've seen a lot of those as I'm clipping them up, and yes, it's true, I need to clip them up again. The last time we clipped them is way down here. We now have 18 inches to 2 feet more growth that we're gonna clip on here. Another thing that I need to do today is pick off leaves, and I'll tell you about that when I do it. But as a gardener, one of the most rewarding things to see is this. It's like finding a nest of eggs. Do you see these? We are starting to get growth. I wish this was like scratch and sniff, because the smell of tomato plants, in my opinion, is one of the best ever. Moving on to a smaller box, if you can see the size difference here, I would say the red beets are about 3/4 of the length of the tomato box. So we have a smaller one in here on both ends. We have another one of Josh's cucumber structures there, and then red beets. Now, I think we have a couple of volunteer tomato plants coming in here as well that I need to take care of. The ones that came up are doing really well, but if you look closely, not everything came up this time, so that's a bummer, but I am looking forward to the red beets that we will get out of these. And then these planters I've had here for years. They are so shallow, things dry out really quickly. So I've just had this creeping thyme in here for a while, and it does fairly well considering how dry it gets. Next box over has these strawberry starts, and you can see a couple strawberries starting to come in there. We restarted these this year. If you're new to strawberries, they have to be restarted every couple years, so that's what's going on there. And then moving over, we have 4 square boxes here side by side, and the first one on my far left it's down to 2 blueberry plants. I am new to blueberry plants. If you have any tips and tricks, let me know in the comments below. 2 of them died on us last year. No idea why. But the ones we have left do have a good amount of blueberries on them. And then I also have 2 spicy peppers here because my pepper box was full, and we're gonna get to that in a bit. They are thriving. And then each of the 3 oldest kids has their own little garden bed. So behind me here, we have some beautiful flowers. It's personally one of my favorite things to see what they plant, because they can pick whatever they want to plant and put it in their little box. They take care of it throughout the summer. They can pick things, they can weed, it's up to them, but that's their little square of responsibility in the garden. Leslie here planted a beautiful sunflower. She has some zinnias, some parsley, carrots. I always love seeing what they come up with. On the other side here we have Hudson's, and he wanted a full box of corn. He is a farmer at heart. He would go plant a field if he could, but since he's not quite old enough for that, he has his garden box full of popcorn this year, so that will be exciting to try. I've never actually tried popcorn before. Next to that we have Kyra's box. She also has a beautiful sunflower. She has a zinnia, some cabbage, some carrots, a potato plant. She put in a lot of variety this year. So anyway, those are always so special for me as their mom. It's something the kids talk about quite a while in advance and has just kind of become a fun project. Beside that here, over here we have another full box of tomatoes. Now these we did a little bit different. This was actually a potato box last year, and we had some volunteer potatoes coming up. So in the middle there's a row of potatoes with tomato plants on either side, and then 2 more cabbages on the end here. And moving along, we have definitely my most used box so far this spring, which is the herb box. Little bit of everything in this one. We have dill, parsley, basil, oregano, thyme, chives, the works. Looks like we even have a couple basil or dill plants starting on the ground there. What do you see?
That's in the sky.
It's a jet. Okay, I hopped over to the other side. We have the herb box here, and then next to that is the peppers. These you have seen since they were babies. I think you saw me plant them, in fact. But they are doing so well, getting nice and big. I think we have some baby peppers coming on there as well, and I can't wait to harvest these and make salsas and eat them fresh, and stuffed peppers. Let's go on a hunt again. Do you see those? Oh my goodness, it's starting. Okay, last box, and then I'll show you the things around the garden that are garden things. This is my box of carrots. I planted a whole entire box of carrots this year. I wanted lots for carrot juice, carrot salads, stir fries, all the things. Okay, now this is where it gets messy and where you'll see probably the majority of work needing to be done. These are hydrangeas that we planted this year. This is supposed to turn into a solid hedge. These are little limes, so they should get like 3 feet tall, but they desperately need weeded, mulched, edged, all the things. But even though it looks a little scraggly right now, I think it will be beautiful once that's all done, and especially once these are blooming in a full hedge. But the last of the garden boxes is here. Now let's go look at that side. These peas also have a fun story behind them. They are the ones that we planted in a video on my due date with William, and I was impatient and needed something fun to do. We planted these back in February. They are bearing beautifully now. They need to be picked again today. I don't know what all I can get done today, but I must try. And then in the middle here we have another row of potatoes. We had so many potatoes to plant this year. So we're trying them in a couple of places we wouldn't normally plant them, and we'll just see how they do. And then last row in the garden is this row of raspberries, and yes, raspberry season is just starting. Cannot wait. The kids are just finishing up breakfast outside, and we're asking if they can come pick raspberries after, so they will probably be out in a bit. And then beside this building, I don't call this my garden, but we do eat from it, and that is all this tea back here. It's a mix of peppermint and spearmint. There's also rhubarb plants scattered throughout, so it's kind of a jungle in there. I'm trying to decide what I want to actually do in there long term, because there's also hydrangeas on this end of it, and they have no idea what's going on because they're completely getting overtaken. Okay, I need to hurry, get this done. My baby's getting hungry inside. I just have a couple more things to show you. This is very recent. They are, ooh, rose petal shower as we walk by them here. Just recently I planted all of the watermelons and melons and pumpkins and gourds and everything. Hard to see because again I need to go back through here and weed, but they are starting to take off well, so I'm very pleased with that because I was sad we were going to lose them all with how dried out they were till we got to it. And then over here, obviously we have Josh's barley field back there, but up here is rows and rows of sweet corn. We love doing sweet corn. We love doing it with friends, and so that's always a fun project. And then beside them, which you can't even really see right now, but on the side of the sweet corn patch along here we have pumpkins and gourds and the rest of those viney things. So anyways, that is the real life garden tour right now, as is, not manicured, but we are excited about it. There comes my hardworking farmer man. I love that we get to do this together. Drying it. Nice. Nice. Okay, back inside to make lunch, but these are the raspberries the kids picked. Do they not look so delicious? They also threw in a couple of those strawberries, but trying to think what I should make with this. This time around, while breastfeeding, I have been eating so many eggs. In fact, I've probably had 2 eggs for lunch 90% of the days since giving birth almost 4 months ago. So I am loving it. It's such a tasty but good source of protein. So that's what I'm gonna do again today. I am gonna fry up a couple of eggs. I have some leftover hash browns from yesterday. And then I also made a kale salad a couple days ago. I'll have to check if it's still good, but it has fresh peas from the garden, onions, and then a honey mustard vinaigrette on it. So that's what I am making for lunch. Everyone else is not as crazy about eggs. They like eggs, just not every single day for lunch. So for them, I have a ground beef mixture with like hash browns. So we're basically just doing kind of a twist on leftovers that we already had on hand. Okay, I have to be honest. I've already been snacking a bunch on these things. I probably had a whole egg already, but anyways, I have on my plate 2 eggs. I have the kale salad and then the hash brown. So lunch is served. What do you think didn't get too much of that done, but the girls are begging to go for a little walk. So I think we're gonna pack the little ones up in the stroller and go for a little walk. That's my favorite little baby doll, William. Coco is so big and pregnant. She got too hot on our walk. Right, Coco? Now you get a first class ride home. It is a lot later now. I had a little change of plans this afternoon. I was going to work outside more. We ended up going for that walk, and then I actually went and spent some time looking at homeschool curriculum for next year. So that's very exciting. It's so strange because we're only in the beginning of June, but since we finished school so early this last year, it feels like we've already had like a 3-month summer break. So anyway, I am so excited about next school year, but just thinking through, like, is there anything we want to change? What did we love? What didn't work well for us? And then buying curriculum accordingly. So I am hoping I have a couple minutes with Josh this evening to just kind of go over that and get his approval and his thoughts on that before we go ahead and order. If you would like a homeschool haul and to see kind of what our plan is for next year, let me know in the comments below. If there's quite a number of you, I'll try to get that done here shortly. I know other years I've done it more in like August, but I feel like it might be more helpful earlier on in the summer. So anyways, for dinner tonight, I'm actually making a tomato cobbler. Now, this is a favorite recipe in our household during the summer months. It's especially good once you have fresh tomatoes from the garden. These are store-bought, but they need to be used up. To start off with, I'm gonna make some butter because I need that for the biscuits, but essentially what it is a bunch of tomatoes with herbs, some butter as the base, and then you make biscuits on and just kind of lay them on top. I like to add some kind of meat for a protein source. I have these beef sticks that we get when we butcher a cow, and so I think I'm just gonna chop those up and put them in here just to add a little bit of protein. You just throw it in the oven, bake it, and that's all there's to it. I love that there's a veggie already in the dish. One-pot meals like that are very common here, especially throughout the weekdays, and also make for easy cleanup after, so it's a win-win. I will try to kind of leave instructions below as to how I make this, but that's just not really how I cook. I just like to throw things together. Basically what I'm doing here today is I have a little bit of lard. I'm going to heat that up. I wish I had actual onions. I would dice up an onion and put it in here, but I don't have onions right now, so I'm going to use some onion powder. Same goes for garlic. I don't have garlic right now, so I'm going to use garlic powder. And then I just went and picked a bunch of herbs from the garden. I have some parsley, some dill, and then 2 onion greens. I'm going to chop these up fine, put them in here as well. And all of that is so much just to taste. Like whatever herbs you like, whatever, if you like onions, if you don't like onions, you can use butter instead of lard or avocado oil or coconut oil. It's so versatile, but this is what I'm doing here today. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the tomatoes to this next.
golden.